Baby, it's so easy to change me. All you have to do is claim me.
Hi, hello, this is Liz, and you're watching Just Gorly Things. Hello. So, I want to lay some groundwork before we get started today. I want to start with saying that I'm going to be a little bit vague. I'm not trying to be vague Lynn here, but I also have zero interest in doxing myself, my psychiatrist. It's not going to happen. So, I mean, you can take what I'm going to say with a grain of salt. You don't have to believe me. I want to start with that because I know how this community is and whatever. I'm not going to show receipts of who my doctor is. But what I do want to talk about is emotional dysregulation disorder, which is commonly misdiagnosed as BPD. I am not an expert in any of this. I just am in the middle of a 32-week course that is being led by one of my country's top experts in this field. So it was really Amber starting to talk about BPD and especially her bringing up DBT that just was the catalyst for me starting to actively make videos on my channel, because I have so many feelings about Amber and this diagnosis, this claim of diagnosis. So I want to start with just a little bit about me. I am a woman who is 32. I'm a mom. I am currently a stay-at-home mom. I have been on a journey of self-discovery for a few years now. I spent a good chunk of my early adulthood being groomed by a narcissistic abuser who was quite a bit older than me and was very, very manipulative. And so I know firsthand how being a soft-spoken, kind of a doormat sort of person, how we are kind of a narc's dream. So I spent almost a decade of my life being told that I was one person with certain abilities. And it was really when I met my husband that my narc really showed themselves for who they were, because I was no longer fully under their control. And it was really breaking away from them that started my journey. And so in the last couple of years, I've been trying to find a diagnosis for what I myself am experiencing. Again, I'm not going to get into a lot of my own stuff, but I do have quite a bit of my own trauma from childhood. I dealt with a lot of loss. And so what happened is, through working with my GP, I was connected with a psychiatrist. He is somebody who believes that there is a difference between BPD and emotional dysregulation disorder. So he is actively working on trying to educate people who may have emotional dysregulation disorder, because there just is such a misunderstanding about this, right? However, what I have learned, one of the many things I've learned from him, is that so many people who are diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, so much of that is a misdiagnosis, right? We're talking about real doctors, not ChatGPT or Google. We're talking real doctors misdiagnosing people with BPD, because emotional dysregulation disorder just is not really understood yet, and not a lot of psychiatrists are considering it when they're diagnosing people. Okay, again, I am not an expert. I am just kind of parroting things that my psychiatrist has taught in the course. Speaking of the course, in September of last year, I met my psychiatrist. He went over my trauma statements, my ACE evaluation, all of that. And I had just been looking for some idea of what was going on. And I'm so fortunate that I got an appointment with who I did, because he immediately invited me to start the 2024-2025 course for DBT and specializing in emotional dysregulation disorder. I immediately said yes, because resources like this are so hard to come by. So I jumped on it. It has been every week, with the exception of like holidays. There are 2 classes a week, 3 hours each, one of which is a mandatory. Like every Wednesday, it is a 3-hour class. And then there's also a 3-hour practice session. That unfortunately does not work with my schedule, so at this time I'm not taking it, but I am doing the required 3 hours a week. Now, I'm already going to be taking the course again next year. Once I have the availability, I will be doing the 2 3-hour classes. Point being, I do not believe Amberlyn Reed is doing anything like this to work towards a diagnosis, to educate herself. None of it. I do not believe it. Now, you might be wondering, okay, but why are we talking emotional dysregulation disorder when Amber claims to have BPD? And valid. Completely valid. I get that. What I want to say is that you can have multiple things going on in one brain, right? You can have lots of different things going on. I do not see these things that I'm discussing in class, these realities that I'm being taught by an actual psychiatrist. It's not lining up, Amber. It's just not. I do not believe Amber is putting in the work. I have a DBT workbook. It's the one that my doctor recommended that we have for the course. I ordered it on Amazon. Anyone can order these workbooks. It doesn't prove anything. My theory is that Amber went to her good old friend ChatGPT, or as Hecticana pointed out to me in his comment section, people are calling it ChatBPD, which, sounds accurate. And I think that Amber is using it as a psychiatrist. I really think she is. I think she has gone in there for a diagnosis, and she is having it act as a doctor to spew out what a doctor would say. And that's what she's telling us. If Amber is doing the work in the workbook, great. Great. That's awesome. If Amber is actually legitimately going to be taking a course, that would be so helpful. While I truly believe that a humongous part of what is going on with Amber is narcissistic personality disorder, girl also, cannot regulate her emotions. But that doesn't mean it's BPD. I think Amber needs to get her own actual doctor and start the process from there. The girl needs help. Nobody deserves to be treated the way that Amber has treated her past partners. And we know that Amber will not stay single for long. And the next wiper is just around the corner. May already be here. May be who Amber is talking to on her phone during her live streams. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But anyways, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. I wanted to talk a little bit about my own experience, my own frustrations, and why I think that Amber is just a big old narc using ChatGPT to mask as a more acceptable mental illness. I don't get it. All right, thank you so much for listening. See you later. Bye.
To be continued.